Hi, I'm... Welcome back to FIA Formula 2's action from Spa-Francorchamps. After we had to be delayed earlier on due to the weather, we can get going now. 18 laps ahead of us at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. The sprint race finally is about to get underway. Let's cross over and get ready for all of the action as well and join up what we see so far. It's time for the world feed. Alongside me in the commentary box is Omi as well, and we're all set. Stand by for what's going to be a very fantastic F2 sprint. Still mixed conditions. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've had to wait for it, but no longer. It's time to get FIA Formula 2 underway, but the race will start behind the safety car. The 3 flashing lights indicate the delayed start as we get everything set up. Welcome to the sprint race. Delayed start. The next update will be in 15 minutes' time. Here we go again, Omi, I suppose. That's not the news we were given 5 minutes ago. That we were told we were going to go on time, but now it looks like yet another delayed start. History repeats itself, my friend. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Birch. Ready for another delayed party, it seems like. But yeah, we're lined up on the grid, and our next update is going to come in just over 15 minutes, and then hopefully we can finally get the F2 sprint underway.
At least it's going to be another 25-minute wait as well, because that takes 10 minutes for the start procedure to begin, so we could be in for something a bit interesting. But yeah, it's another delay, I'm afraid, at the moment. The rain came down heavily just for the start. Let's check in with Alex Jakes and Alex Brundle.
In the drive perfectly to plan. Longest lap of the year. Drivers put under huge pressure. Very impressive cars, these, built by Dallara. And Mechachrome turbocharged engine underneath, but you're fighting the car way more in Formula 2 than you are in Formula 1, where there are so many corners that are flat.
Over 600 horsepower, and it comes in 2 stages. Firstly, the combustion engine delivers its power, and then you get the turbocharger spool up and start to compress the air going into the engine. That natural fuel gives you a little bit of extra grunt. Well, it gives you a lot of extra grunt. That all comes in at once, needing to be managed by the driver. Engineers do everything they can to try to mitigate the lag, but in the end, that little bit of turbo lag has to be managed with the driver's right foot, and that's the joy of driving an extremely powerful single-seater like those enjoyed by the Formula 2 drivers, and like those that challenge the Formula 2 drivers. A lot of downforce as well, not as much as they have in Formula 1. They also have no power steering on these cars, so drivers using a decent amount of force to get the cars around the racetrack. And the idea of these cars, the idea of this formula over the years, is to separate the great from the merely good, and that's why the cars are the beasts that they are.
There's Isaac Hadjar, our championship leader, having a wander around. Normally, when you join us, we are ready to go. We'll bob straight onto the formation lap. We roll the VT, we hear from the top 3, and then we go racing. And it's usually very intense, and it's usually very exciting. But it has been a festival of delays today, as you look at our most recent race winner, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who is trying to forge his path to Formula 1. Great drive last time out in Budapest, but there's so many talented drivers in the field. Does this affect the driver's mindset, Alex, when there's been basically omni delays all day, and they all seem to have affected F2?
Definitely so. I mean, you've got to remember these drivers have all driven down to the pit lane once already. They've been through the whole process. They've been through the build-up of potentially starting a race. That race has been called off, postponed till later, which means all of their nutrition planning, their rest planning, everything has changed. And they need to get warmed up again. Drivers will go through various processes. Some of them are lobbing tennis balls at their coach. Some of them are playing batak. Some of them are doing different, all sorts of things in the garage to try to get warmed up. So you go through that whole process again, but you don't know whether it's actually going to be the start of the race that you're looking for. You can't go minimal on any of those preparations because it could be the beginning of the contest. So you've got to go flat out every single time. Some drivers preferring to get out of the car, have a bit of a walk around and then switch their mind back on. Other drivers, like Amory Cordeal, preferring to stay in the car where no one can bother you, basically. It's a lovely place to be. You can put your visor down, and in some way, people don't tend, once you're in the car, to come up and talk to you and want you to give them answers to too many questions beyond your engineer, who is connected to you by radio. So that solitude is often very beneficial to a racing driver in this scenario.
That's what the drivers are dealing with at this stage. There's Kushmaini. He was a winner in Budapest after Richard Verschoor was disqualified. They're just making an adjustment to the wing mirror there.
Yeah, the typical too much to think about change. Too much time to think about it, yes. I should say. I just want to see a little bit more of the top of my right rear tyre. But you'd always go, by the way, for just the end. I always used to measure my wing mirrors by the inside of the wing mirror trained to the very end of the rear wing end plate, which gives you enough of a feel inside. You want to see over the top of the rear tyre. And drivers, it's so easy to mess with that stuff. Your belts are just a little bit too tight or too loose. You want to get out, mess around with your racing equipment, and then as soon as you pump some adrenaline through your veins, having gone side by side down to turn one, all of that stuff doesn't seem to quite matter as much. But when you sit there on the grid preparing for a race like this, it seems awfully important indeed.
So final adjustments being made. There's Juan Manuel Correa, American driver, starting 13th for this one, and he's had to wait with the rest of us. If you are watching this and you stayed with us earlier on for the delay, it's been great to have your company all the way through today. I'm desperate to be able to bring you a motor race at the end of this day. There are plenty remaining behind in the grandstands. We've had a really intense Formula 1 qualifying session, but the F2 race around here is always interesting. Just one winner around this circuit on the grid, that's Fittipaldi. He'll be hoping to get into the mix, but he's 12th on the grid at the start of this one. We'll wait until we get closer to an update of when we might be racing to take you through the other positions.
Cars, of course, need to be kept within the working window as well. So water temperature within the operating range and everything like that, that's the key. You can't just fire these cars up and send them out like you would a road car. You'll do damage to the engine. So that's what the team are all doing mostly when they're milling around the car in a situation like this. It's temperature management, keeping the engine temperature within the operating window and then trying to keep the rest of the car as cool as possible. The reason you need people around the car to do that is race cars don't have fans in the same way as road cars do. So they don't blow air through their own radiators, meaning that you have to actively warm them up and then let them cool down. And racing engines much more temperature sensitive in the way that their tolerances are much smaller, so the temperatures have to be correct for them to run appropriately. I too would love to see a motor race. I feel most sorry for the official fuel supplier today, who've not done much business, and that would be great to get this race underway. You can see rain falling over the starting grid. I got a good feeling about this one, Jakes.
Oh dear, we've been waiting, we've been building up.
That's why.
There we go, the formation lap will start at 25 minutes past the hour, so let's take you through.
That's an early update.
The running order for this sprint race.
Yep, absolutely. Here's your starting grid then. Considering they're now starting in 5 minutes, they've changed the update. It's back at the grid for Victor Martins with Roman Stanek starting 21st. Paul Aron is in 20th with a penalty. Joshua Durskin starts in 19th place as well. 18th for Taylor Barnard. Rafael Villagomez lines up 17th on the grid. 16th, that takes us with Jose Maria Marti. And Rita Miata lines up 15th. 14th on the grid for Ollie Behrman. He's alongside Juan Manuel Correa in 13th. 12th for Enzo Fittipaldi, with Kush Miney lining up in 11th place. And in 10th, it's Emil Cordial with Gabriel Bortoletto in 9th. 8th on the grid for Isaac Kadja and Jack Crawford. And then it's Andrea Kimi Antonelli alongside Zane Maloney. Alongside then Franco Colapinto, Richard Verschoor, Dennis Hager and Zach O'Sullivan on pole. And I think, Omi, thank God for that, we're going to get a motor race in.
Gonna get a motor race in indeed, and a little bit more earlier because we were fearing that we would have to wait about 6 minutes ago. We were fearing that we would have had to wait 25 minutes till we actually got any type of motor race underway, but no, luckily the FIA have used their brain for once, and we can go in just under 5 minutes time. Should be a thrilling FIA Formula 2 contest. We have an amazing sprint race coming our way. The drivers will get into position and the formation lap will be getting underway soon, and we will be going racing here for Formula 2 at Spa. Always thrilling, but we've got mixed conditions, which should also add plenty of action for us as well. So cannot wait for this one to get underway, and let's see whether Zach O'Sullivan is going to be able to convert pole to his second victory in FIA Formula 2.
Let's head over to the world feed until the formation lap begins in 3 minutes time.
Races, so that opportunity is in Hadjar's corner. Bortoletto, what's he going to try and do? Beat Hadjar, grab points against the championship leader, and see if he can move himself closer to the lead of the series.
The formation lap will start at 25 minutes past the hour local time. We're currently at 22 minutes past the hour local time. We have a maximum of 45 minutes that we can run. We have 18 laps scheduled for this one. We have a championship battle that's been in the balance, as Alex has described a few moments ago, with Hadjar ahead of Aaron, ahead of Bortoletto, then Maloney and Colapinto. They're the top 5 going into this one. You have Zach O'Sullivan, who won in Monaco for the feature, trying to win his first sprint in Formula 2. O'Sullivan, part of the Williams Academy in that blue car, the Williams livery you can see there on the left-hand side. Car number 2. And alongside him on the front row, MP Motorsports Hauger, who will be trying to take another step forward. 8th in the points at the start of this one, chasing just his second win of the season today.
O'Sullivan has taken a win this year, of course, that revolutionary win, the surprising win in many books back in Monaco, but a win nonetheless. He's crossed the line first, and he'll be looking to do so again today. His life's going to be made difficult by these conditions. The second place grid box has been better in the race that we've seen so far today, and that is often the case here at Spa because of the way the drivers move across the road towards the outside to prepare themselves for last source. It can be slightly drier as well, given the topography of the start-finish layout. Dennis Hauger in that grid box, and he's looked very keen all weekend long, hasn't he?
Dennis Hauger, who was catching the eye yesterday with a very thin element on the rear wing, has reverted back to the one that everyone else is using. There's a choice of 2. Rain coming down now. I'm surprised you can remember that Formula 3 race. It was so long ago this morning. We've had a long day of it here in the commentary.
Was that today? That was today.
That was today.
Yeah.
We can confirm that. We can confirm in a minute's time we'll be rolling off the grid. And there you can hear the klaxon. It's time to clear away. And watches being checked. It is time to fire up the cars and external starters. The mechanics will clear the grid. And after the big build-up, the biggest build-up we've ever done for any Formula 2 race ever, it's nearly time to get the cars rolling onto the formation lap.
Second place man in the Formula 3 Championship last year, Zach O'Sullivan, sits in 12th position in his first year in the Formula 2 series. A win to his name, a sequence of points finishes to his name, but this would be one he would be desperate to add. The rain in Spa, a huge challenge for these drivers in this extremely powerful machinery. Carbon brakes, big wet tyres on these cars, all to get up to operating temperature, and a very damp but very long Spa, over 7 kilometres, offers them the opportunity to do it. By the time they get back round here, they will need to have all of that work done and the car completely ready underneath them, and we will need to have a circuit ready to go racing again. O'Sullivan takes him off the line for the formation lap.
Green light, finally, for Formula 2 on the gantry. Formation lap underway as the field move on to one lap around the 7 kilometres of Spa, our only lap of the year that exceeds 7 kilometres in length. The rain is coming down in the pit lane. It's been a day to be prepared on the pit wall. It's been a day to be prepared around the racetrack, but the fans that have stayed behind finally about to get their reward and see these hugely impressive cars and the young driver talent of the future. If you consider that Oliver Behrman's already got a Formula 1 points finish to his name on this grid, he's starting outside the top 10. So much to enjoy behind the wheel here, and so much to enjoy from the top 3. And we'll hear with Richard Verschoor in 3rd place at the moment. Then Hauger and O'Sullivan will start with the man in your picture.
To be honest, I'm hoping for some rain. Will be good to spice things up for me. I don't feel too confident for race pace yet. So one more day for the guys to look at the data will be nice, to have some rain for tomorrow. And of course, I will try to go for the win. If it's raining, probably will be a safety car start. And from there on, we should try to have a good pace.
Starting on the front row is never a bad thing. Let's see how the weather is going to be, if it's going to be rain or dry. But I think we had decent pace in the mediums in the free practice, so I think we just have to, work on what we can, see how the conditions are going to be like, and yeah, just go for it.
Plan is to get a good start and then see from there. As you said, slipstream's very strong up towards Lake Rum, so we'll see. The plan is to try and keep the lead, but you never know.
It's wet, Omi, and that is what we really love, because we are in for unpredictable territory, I feel, coming in now. What is going to happen? Wow. Coming up shortly. Here's what about it.
So see the spray ahead of you and realize it's going to be raining. F1 radar says it's raining until 7, so it will rain for the entire race.
Wow. It's 6:27 at the moment. It's a 45-minute race, Omi, and it's raining now. Here we go.
Here we go. For some chaos and some drama, we have got the second Williams Academy man starting in P4. The other one in the pole position seat as well. His name is Zach O'Sullivan. Let's see if Franco Colapinto can get in the mix. But the real man to keep an eye on is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He was mighty quick in the rain at Silverstone, a beast in the rain at Silverstone. He's gone from 8th on the grid to 1st in 2 laps at Zandvoort in the Formula Regional European Championship last year. That was absolutely remarkable. It seems like wherever he's driving in the wet, he's in another league. Let's see if he can prove it once again, and let's see what he is going to be able to do from 6th on the grid. Bit more further back for the man in the championship lead, Isaac Hadjar. If he finishes there, he'll gain a point on his nearest rival in the championship, as we are all getting ready now. The cars are getting into position for what should be an exciting race. Standing start here for Formula 2. Keep an eye on the row with Dennis Hauger starting in 2nd place, because it seems like the outside line can be good around this circuit, especially in these wet conditions as well.
Really having to wait for it, aren't they, as well, lining up. The rain's getting heavier and heavier. Victor Martins lines up at the back then. All set for Formula 2 and the sprint race to kick us off. We've had to wait over 4 hours. Now, the green flag can be signalled at the back by Bernard. Eyes to the lights. 2, 3, 4, 5. Go! Good start from O'Sullivan. Haugen pull away, looking for Shaw. He'll have the inside line. Second phase, the outside line works better. For Shaw does not get the best getaway into La Source. It's O'Sullivan leading, and they're all going to get through safely. Just about. We've got 4 wide at the exit as we come down towards Eau Rouge for the first time. Hold your breath, because in wet conditions, this is the tricky one. Up now into Eau Rouge and Radion. Few twitches. Behrman looking to the inside line, and I think they've all got through clearly. Yes, they have. There's a wall of spray at the exit as we come down the Kemmel Straight. O'Sullivan, though, leads this race, Omi, as they come down to Lacombe.
Exactly the start O'Sullivan wanted. Round the outside comes Zane Maloney as well, and he is making his way through on Franco Colapinto. A good move there from the boy from Barbados. In the background as well, Antonelli diving to the inside of Jack Crawford.
And he's sliding. He's sideways coming through Malmedy. Crawford goes defensive. So Antonelli just tries to sit back round the outside. Behrman dropped 2 places at that start as well. So he's scampering around with positions at the moment. Hager still P2. Can barely see what's happening as they come down in towards Ix at turn 9. Then towards Puong. The rain's getting a little bit heavier out there in certain areas where find the trees condense it most. But as we come through Puong, there's Antonelli. And directly behind Antonelli is Isaac Hadjar. He's made a great getaway and kept up his positions as well. But the rain heavy as we come into Fanya.
Yep, exactly. So Isaac Hadjar still in 8th position. He's going to try and get past Kimi Antonelli, who has dropped down a position as well, and he's looking for that inside line. In the background, was he able to get it? He was. Hadjar through on Antonelli.
Antonelli slipping and sliding as we come into Stabilo.
Yep, he stayed it back.
Yeah, this is where it all picks up, isn't it? I mean, this part of the track with the rain.
Yep, now Behrman's also going to try and have a go at Isaac Hadjar. O'Sullivan with a 1.2 second gap. That's exactly what the Williams man wanted, leading the race. As we make our way down towards Blanchimont, let's see who is feeling brave for an overtake. Can Kimi Antonelli go on the attack of Jack Crawford as we're about to complete the first lap of 18 of this Formula 2 sprint race? It's been an exciting start so far as we go down to the braking zone. Antonelli's going for it.
He thinks about it. Behrman, however, makes the move on Isaac Hadjar. They're side by side. Behrman's on the outside of the last corner of the bus stop. Hadjar just gives him room. Fantastic move from Ollie Behrman as well. Round the outside of the bus stop. Bortoletto gets ahead. And meantime, look at Colin Pinto and Crawford. Now that's Crawford, I think, on the inside line. They're all swapping places. Cameron's doing us no good. Yes, Colin Pinto is on the outside line and are coming through on the inside through La Source. Now the outside through Rouge. They're side by side. And through goes Crawford, Colin Pinto down, and here comes Andrea Kimi Antonelli as we come into Radillon.
Oh, and Colin Pinto slightly off as well. It's going to open the door for Antonelli, who will surely tuck in the slipstream and try and make the move into Lecombe. He'll be getting the tow all the while. It'll need to be some late braking prowess. Both Promos look on the attack. Look like they're on the attack in this one.
Switch
and Antonelli
back.
looking forward to the outside, switching to the inside.
Couldn't do it. Had to back out of it. It was almost an aeroplane accident for Antonelli as well. Marty's come into the pit lane. Don't know why. He hasn't even completed the lap, and he was so far back through the order. I suspect it's a puncture or something for Jose Maria Marty. So we'll keep an eye out for him. Meantime, though, O'Sullivan's got 2 seconds over Hauger already. 2 seconds at the front of the field, an insane time as it's still going on. Down into Jackie Hicks in turn 9. Antonelli trying to get through ahead of Colin Pinto, and no such luck just yet.
No such luck indeed. He has to be careful though. If he tries to make a half move, it could open the door for Ollie Behrman, who is definitely interested in also getting past his teammate. Antonelli's had the better of his teammate so much this season. Behrman's trying to change. So Hadjar still in there as well. Hadjar right now in 9th position outside the points. Let's see if he can try to get past back Ollie Behrman. But O'Sullivan in his rookie season of Formula 2 doing well in these wet conditions to pull away with a 2 second gap right now.
And we've got Behrman, as you said, he was sliding everything as Antonelli thinks about the move on the inside of the curve to Paul Frere. Can't get ahead. Well, that's going to allow Behrman to have a slipstream right up towards Blanchimont.
And behind.
Antonelli's radio is saying nothing. He's absolutely beside himself. He can't talk. So that was well worth 30 seconds. Behrman's following team orders here. He's not going to have a go at Antonelli as he tries to take Colin Pinto.
Out of the final corner we go once again, and down towards La Source. The best opportunity, of course, is down the Kemmel Straight. Maloney having a go at Verschoor. Verschoor having a go at Hauger. Interesting stuff at the front of the field, but it's the battle that behind, and Colin Pinto's wide. That could open the door for Antonelli. Martin's also going for it on Maney.
That's a good one for Martins. He's moved up into 13th place. Antonelli is going round the outside. They're side by side, almost to the pit wall as they come through Rouge. What is going on? Antonelli! And that is the move of the season! Hands down! And Behrman's going to make it a Bremer double as they come down the Kemmel Straight. And it's side by side to the outside line. Absolutely unbelievable. Colin Pinto has been absolutely mugged by the Bremers. Antonelli blocking one path. Did he get through? And that's a further Maloney battling out as well. And Behrman did get ahead. Fabulous move as the virtual safety car is out. Fabulous.
Oh my word.
That is the move. I do not know what to say. Side by side in the wet at Rouge and Radillon, and Antonelli makes the move as Marty's day goes from bad to worse and stops on the entry to Puong. That was the greatest move I've ever seen in a Formula 2 race. Side by side in the pouring rain at Rouge. Well done, Antonelli. Here's the start, Omi.
Prix Right, O'Sullivan and Hauger. Hauger got the better launch off the line. He already tried to go around the outside, for sure with the inside holding third position, and then it was always going to be out of the corner. Antonelli didn't get the best of drive. He was trying to get to the inside of Jack Crawford as well. Colapinto was wheel to wheel with Maloney, and that's poor drive for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Good drive, we have to say as well, for Dennis Hauger, but he wasn't able to do anything with it. And now we're right on board with Bortoletto, with Behrman to the side. And are these two about to go wheel to wheel on the opening lap as well? It seems like they were, and that was so close to contact.
Unbelievable. This is the move of the year, move of the decade, move of the season and a half. Side by side. It's a full safety car now, by the way.
Safety car.
That, look at this from Antonelli. He lines up the inside line of La Source on Colapinto, and then he just bottles it all the way down. Colapinto squeezing him into the pit wall. He'll argue on the radio that he was given no space. It was so close to contact. And did he lift? He did to break down, but my God, fantastic move from Andrea Kimi Antonelli. And the man is coming into it. The boy is becoming a man right in front of our eyes. That was fantastic. He is just getting better and better as he gets into forming into this series.
Well, we did say that moment at Silverstone definitely could give him a lot of confidence. It seems like it has. What a move. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Kimi Antonelli, able to get through up to P6. Also helping his favorite teammate Ollie Behrman to get through as well. Disappointment for Marty. So much waiting around, but instead it's going to be a retirement for him. The Spanish driver is our first retirement of the race. His car will need to be recovered. And it's still on the circuit, so that's why we've got a full safety car. And everyone will be close back up to the man with the fastest lap and first position, O'Sullivan, so everyone will have a chance to attack as well. But Maloney wasn't able to get through, of course. We had the brilliant move from Antonelli that distracted all of the other battles, but we did have Martins able to get through on Maney. We had Maloney not able to get through after, on Vachon after a little bit of an attempt as well around the outside. So yeah, some great racing across the field, but Antonelli seems like the one who wants to pass everyone. That's why I said he's the one to keep an eye on in the wet conditions. He dropped off the line. He dropped a couple of places off the line. He's recovered back to 6th. Now it's Crawford, Maloney, Vachon, Hauger, O'Sullivan ahead, and a lot of laps ahead to try to take them all and take what would be a brilliant win for him.
Jess says, do you think Antonelli's getting used to the F2 cars now? I think he feels more at home with the Prema now. Absolutely. Definitely after that one. Right.
And the Prema's a bus, let me just add.
Yes, it is. Prema's not been what it wants this year. Right, there's an annoying fly. It's been annoying me and Megan all day. I'm just trying to see if I can get it, because it's really annoying me. Safety car's out then. And it bunches the field back out. We shall wait. Let's cross over to the world feed while we do.
And Antonelli getting by at Eau Rouge, and then Behrman getting by later in the lap. Colapinto not enjoying these conditions for whatever reason at this stage. A driver who's had one of the overtakes of the season when he passed on the last lap of the sprint in Imola to take his win in this year.
Next up for Colapinto, if he does continue to struggle for pace, is Hadjar, of course, who hasn't actually made that much progress from his starting position through that top 10 runners. Still line astern with championship challenger Bortoletto. So they're trying to work their way through the order, but not too much progress yet. They'll be hoping to get running as quickly as possible. Let's see what's going on with Pepe Marti. This is very early on in the race, and the field part then, as he appears to lose drive at that stage, heads through the pit lane. I don't know if he stops in the box here, Pepe Marti, if he just rolls all the way through the pit lane, but clearly combating some sort of technical issue, isn't he, which has then caused him to grind to a halt on the exit of Speaker's Court.
Hearing from the gallery that he was trying to do some sort of reset when they were looking at down into the car, and one Campos needs to be recovered. The other Campos finds itself in 9th.
So that must be locked in gear then, otherwise they would be they'd be towing that. So the reason why the car is being lifted there and not towed, and there's only really one reason. Well, there are two reasons, but one of them is moot. One reason would be it doesn't have any wheels on it, and the other reason is it's locked in gear, so they lifted it.
So, a couple of reasons.
How does the forecast look?
Should keep this amount of rain for the next half an hour.
Fantastic.
Bad, Oliver. It looks bad.
But he's really enjoying the wet. This is the Oliver Bearman we were used to last year. On the front foot, 4 times the winner in his rookie season 1 year ago.
Both those Premers, actually, firing up the tyre nicely. Antonelli, so aggressive, really feisty in the early phases of that race. Bearman very much following him through with the pace.
2 moments of brinkmanship at Eau Rouge. A feather touch from Bortoletto against Bearman. Bearman looks a contender at this stage of the race, if we can get back going again rather quickly. Antonelli, with no room at all up against Colapinto, but no question in his mind that he was going for the move.
Saw it in Hungaroring when he made the big lunge down towards turn 9. Antonelli is thinking overtake all the way round the lap. He doesn't prepare...
The move on Maloney.
Exactly.
That was key.
He doesn't prepare an overtake, really, as other drivers are doing, where you think it through and you think, oh, I'll have a go up towards turn 5 the next time round. He just sends it immediately, and I think that takes other drivers aback and catches them off guard. He seems to be able to do that impressively. I mean, there's one thing being able to do that and coming together with people and having incidents. He seems to be able to do that without crashing, which is quite impressive, to make those opportunistic lunges at this phase of the season and not have the clatters into the side of other drivers.
Well, we've made our way to lap 5 of 18. It's Zach O'Sullivan chasing victory number 2 in Formula 2. Dennis Hauger chasing his 2nd win of the season. Richard Verschoor chasing his 1st and trying to make amends to 4, this time last week when he was disqualified from the sprint race win. His 3rd time he's lost a Formula 2 win for an infringement after the race. And then Maloney, who at one stage had a look, didn't he? Had a sight to the inside of Verschoor, wasn't able to get it done, went over the road at Belgium, and that is where we are at this stage of proceedings. The marshals have recovered the car. It's on the back of the vehicle, having locked in gear, and we're circulating around, waiting to hear when we're going to get back going again.
Yeah, I said it earlier in Formula 3, I'll say it again. You lose a lot of race at Spa to a safety car because they can only call a safety car in at the completion of each lap. Because the circuit is so long, you only get 18 opportunities, actually 17 opportunities to bring the safety car back in again. So we'll now go all the way around to lap 6, even if they've recovered it, before the safety car will end, unless they can work really, really quickly this time around. But I don't think they can as they come into the final sector of the lap. So another tour under the safety car, unfortunately.
Yeah, just the nature of the way that we administer the rules, the way that the race control look at restarting a race, and the lights were still on. We go another 7 kilometers around this Spa circuit, and 30 minutes to go on the clock. Zach O'Sullivan's going to have to deal with a restart at the end of this one, but it's another lap off the board for him. He has the fastest lap, he has the lead, he has the clearest view, but he's going to have to time this one correctly, because Hauger knows this could be his one real opportunity to snatch the win away.
The continuation of the rain in some ways easier, because you don't have to, as the restarting driver, decide how much more grip or how much less grip you've got. At least you've got stable conditions. I mean, you've got a benchmark down into turn 1 for where you're going to brake when you're under pressure. And those marks beside of the racetrack that you pick up, that you get a feel for, or even just a general sense of about where you can brake in these conditions, are so important to drivers, especially when they're under pressure, as O'Sullivan will surely be when he goes back to racing conditions.
The stewards are going to have a look at Pepe Marti continuing with mechanical difficulties. That's going to be investigated after the race for carrying on and eventually coming to a halt. So there he is, he's made his way back to the pit lane, and confirmation the investigation after the race will continue on track with mechanical difficulties.
Yeah, I think it depends on what the nature of the mechanical difficulties are. I mean, if you realistically can try it out and get back round to the pit lane, and then you don't do so, but you potentially could have done, I think it's fair enough. If you drag a car back out onto the racetrack with, you know, all sorts of bodywork hanging off it, that's a different thing. So I think not necessarily an issue, as long as he could have feasibly tried the car out and made it back.
It's been an ultra-competitive season. It always is in Formula 2, but this year has been something truly special. We've had a new car.
Yeah, he's down quite a lot.
To be fair, that has been the accurate term today. And we are ready to get things underway. 14 different winners, 19 different drivers on the podium.
I mean, Omi, do you reckon that they're just sort of delaying this as long as possible? Because the longer this goes on, the longer I'm thinking we're going to end up in a red flag situation if that rain gets heavier.
Yeah, they're just wasting time
Yeah.
at this stage, which is unfortunate because we want racing, but yeah, the safety car's still out there, it seems like.
And it's going to be out there for another lap as
Last-
well.
And it was cleared 1 lap ago.
So why? Why are they keeping this out? Why? There's no reason. They're all backed up together. They have been because it was deployed early on in a race. There's no reason for the delay to keep on happening. So yeah. Interesting. Interesting all this. Rain is heavy out the back of the circuit, but if the FIA have
Very
spotted
weird.
something that's coming in and like there's a bigger rain cloud, then maybe, but we've got 27 minutes to go. It's lap 7 of 18. Kind of need the laps. Kind of need the time as well, so the safety car is not helping situations here. We keep on going though.
Yeah, just wasting quite a bit of time.
Rouge seems to be okay. So does Radion. Kevin straight, yeah? So why? It's Kemmel that I'm
Just
worried
weird.
about, yeah. There's a lot of water on Kemmel. But it seems fine. We can get going. We can go. It's better than when we started the race. Oh, here. Okay, this is the problem. Le Com, Malmedy, Ravage. There is a lot of standing water through here. But it doesn't look bad from our angle. It's raceable. It's easily raceable. I'm trying to have a look and see if there's any
Yeah.
heavier water falling. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, it does seem like it's racing, but yeah, hopefully we'll get the safety car in at the end of this lap. So everything's been cleared. We're just waiting on when do we actually get back to racing. So in the championship, Paul Aaron in 18th position, up from 20th to 18th in all of that as we continue the action. Well, we await the action to continue here at Spa, and we're doing. And we're
Red
just
flag.
wasting a few laps behind the safety car.
Red
It
flag,
does,
Omi. Red flag.
Seem like at the moment. Red flag.
Red flag. They've stopped the race. They have stopped the race. Red flag's out. So, lap 7 of 18, and the stewards have decreed that the weather conditions are too much. Now, I don't agree with that one. I've been the first to say all over
Surely-
Twitter that we should be putting the driver safety first, but the conditions are better than when we started the race. So why have we red flagged? That's a confusion.
Surely it has to be something with the helicopter. Like the track does not look bad to be red flag levels.
If it's fog and visibility for the medical helicopter, that could be the case. Yeah, if the helicopter can't fly. I mean, this is where we could do with the reason why the race is stopped. But there's no fresh water hitting the track. It's not that. If we cut off, oh well, okay, there we go. Red flags then. And 7 of 18, if we can't resume, I don't think we will, Zach O'Sullivan has won the sprint race.
So we have 2 hours of daylight. So the FIA tried stretching it out. They could. But yeah, weird that we are getting a red this race. I believe the reason to the delay was it was the helicopter as well.
Yeah.
So if it's the same case again, then yeah, we'll just wait. But hopefully it's maybe just a short red flag to sort the helicopter, and hopefully we're able to continue in this one. But back to the pit lane and back to the podcast party.
Yep, seems to be. Now, let's run through the order in case we don't restart, as the race is stopped in the pit lane behind the safety car. The red flag is out, lap 8 of 18 now on the board. Zach O'Sullivan's leading with the fastest lap, then it's Hauger, Verschoor, the top three. Maloney's 4th, Crawford 5th, Antonelli is 6th, Behrman 7th, Colapinto 8th, Hadjan 9th, Bortoletto 10th, Cordial's 11th, Martin's up to 12th after 20 seconds. That's a great job from him. Maney's 13th, Fittipaldi's 14th, Maeta's 15th, Barnard 16th, Correa 17th, Aron 18th, Durskin 19th, Stanek 20th, Villagomez 21st, and Marty stopped on the track, causing the safety car, which has now turned into a red flag for weather conditions. It is the medical helicopter as the reason, and there's a heavier storm incoming. So that is why the red flag's out at the moment. So we'll wait to see what happens. For now, though, the race suspended behind with a red flag. Let's cross over to the world feed.
Give 5 points to the race winner, 4 for second place, 3 for third place, 2 for fourth place, and 1 for fifth. And that would be the revised points distribution in accordance to the sporting regulations that the teams have delivered to them at the start of the year. But the teams go back to work, and you've got to pay tribute to the teams. You're doing so much more work in a Formula 2 team. There's only 12 people who can work on the car. Obviously, a swarm of people work on a Formula 1 car, but it's an intense summer run. This is the 5th round in 6 weeks, and it's been a really, really intense run for everyone in the Grand Prix weekend, whether it be Formula 1, Formula 2 or Formula 3. And Oliver Behrman, there he is, currently in 7th place, reporting that it was getting wet, and he is out of the car, helmet off, balaclava off, and having a look at his rival's tyres. Inspector Behrman going to work.
A little bit of a look at the rear tyre, see how much tread block remains. Bit of a feel in terms of temperature as well. And that's so often the key in cars like this. How much rear tyre they can keep behind them over the full race distance. And if they do resume again, of course the tyre gets cold and then warms up again, and that becomes ever more important, the amount of tyre you've retained, because the more rubber you retain on the surface of the tyre, the more temperature it generates.
And that is it. Unfortunately, that is the end.
Race will not be resumed. Wow! Now that is shocking, Omi. That is a shock and a surprise, Omi.
It is.
It's for another 42 minutes, but we've been racing for what? 20 minutes? Half that behind the safety car, that's it. So Zach O'Sullivan wins. The race will not be resumed. That seems like a bit of a cop-out to me. What do you feel about
that? It seems like it is indeed. And that is such a disappointment. That is it. And Zach O'Sullivan has won for the second time in FIA Formula 2.
Mallory's put me on her story. I've just noticed she's put it on her story. Oh, Mal. Because I put the stickers finally on the Instagram story. Mal's just reposted it. So, well, I mean, I'm shocked here. That is a massive waste of time just to get some racing laps in. And notice as well, we got to exactly the number of laps that we had to for points to be awarded. So, yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, well, Zach O'Sullivan wins it. And a great drive, I think, driver of the day for Antonelli there. Great move. Right, let's catch up with the world feed then. And, Omi, any thoughts from you quickly before we hand back? Well, I thought you were just going to say something.
Well, it's sad that we won't be able to see whether Antonelli would have been able to make his way through on everyone and win the race with his pace, but okay.
What a bad end to the day. Back to Alex Jakes and Alex Brundle.
After the Grand Prix here and filters down to Formula 2, there are two very impressive junior team principals who have taken so many drivers to Formula 1. Sebastian Philippe and René Rosin of ART.
Sebastian Philippe and René Rosin there discussing how they're going to account for these tyres on the balance sheet of ART and Kramer. But yeah, they've got a lot of experience between them, haven't they? Sebastian Philippe run all sorts of motorsport enterprises. Yeah, René Rosin's run Prema for years, with a great variety of racing machinery underneath the team, and a tremendous wealth of motorsport experience to the benefit of the young drivers and even old drivers in their various forms who've raced underneath those two.
We have a feature race for you tomorrow, and my word, I hope that forecast holds and it's dry on Sunday, because you've had to be patient with us. And I hope you enjoyed what we were able to bring to you. 7 completed laps, 8 on the control line by the end. A race claimed by Zach O'Sullivan. He's taken the win, an unusual win again. And then Hauger in second. Richard Verschoor will complete the podium.
Absolutely. A great podium for Verschoor. Another podium for Verschoor in this year's Formula 2 racing, after he was disappointed, frustrated by not being able to take victory when he looked in the position to do so earlier on in the year. He can chalk up another one after taking a podium back in Hungary. But it will be Zach O'Sullivan that takes home the day, and he'll chalk up as a victory for ART.
It counts, there are points that come with it. And Alexa there, the Director of Communications, shooing the drivers to the podium. And an unusual one. There's the boss, Bruno Michel.
It was a bit long the race. Wow. How was the visibility? For me already it was quite bad within 2 cars. Yeah? Yeah. For me it was okay. The spray was bad or not? For me already.
We've started the cool-down room early. Talking about visibility out there with the boss.
It's, you know, drivers who Spa when they try and start negotiating their way back onto the racetrack with the boss of the series, Bruno Michel, wanted to get a feel from the drivers.
I didn't think all of the fast time because we said I didn't think that was
what the conditions are.
I love that. Let's listen in if there's any more chat.
You look so tired. I've been sick.
And we switch to the wire cam, which means we can't hear as much out there, but it's been that sort of day.
It really has. The director cruelly cutting away from the chat so that we can...
He just loves the sound of our voice, I think.
he really does.
At least someone does. Excellent stuff. From the whole team, from the camera ops, for all the sound staff on site, all the championship staff here for Formula 2 as well. The drivers for keeping their heads out there. It was a really it was a really sensible first lap, wasn't it?
It really was. You know, even 4 wide across the back of the grid, really nicely delivered. We saw feisty racing, but incredible car control required to keep these machines out of the side of each other, especially down at the source, which has been the area where we've seen so many silly incidents and even the highest reaches of motorsport over the years. These Formula 2 drivers, they threw them out there for a standing start in very different conditions to how they've been running for the rest of the weekend. And they managed that first braking zone brilliantly, which was really great and impressive to see. Jokes being shared between Hauger and Verschoor there as they make their way back up towards the podium.
So Richard Verschoor and Dennis Hauger in full conversation. The rest of the cars heading back to the support race pit lane. We'll have another contest tomorrow with the longest lap of the year and the shortest lap count as a result, but 25 points on offer for the win tomorrow. And, we will be giving 5 points to our winner for this one as per the regulations.
Yeah, and it hoovers up an opportunity to score the big points for those who find themselves in the championship battle. Hajar will be happy about that. Yes, he's not taking points home himself, but it's taken points off the table which could have been grabbed by the other championship protagonists. And for somebody leading the championship, it's almost as good, isn't it, to take those points away? It moves you closer to that mathematical championship victory that you need. Still a lot of racing to go, though, in this Formula 2 championship. Coming to the end of the Formula 3 season, we're mid to late season in Formula 2. They go flying off around the world again, and they'll be looking forward to some desert climbs, won't they, to finish the season after the amount of rain these poor drivers have seen over the last couple of years. I mean, Silverstone and Spa to be somewhat expected.
You know what you're signing up for, Silverstone and Spa. Well, at least the crowd got to see some racing out there. There's our winner, collecting his thoughts.
Yeah, an element of sort of muted enjoyment from Zach O'Sullivan there, because the way that race was going, I think he could have won it at full distance. He looked for all the world to have the speed, yes, to be able to do so. And I think there'll be a part of him that takes joy, as anyone who wins a Formula 2 race absolutely should do, from the victory there. Another part of him that would think, wish that race ran its full distance, so I could have shown that I could have won it in that instance.
It's thumbs up and posing for the photos. We didn't go the full distance, but we did get a winner and we did get a race after.
And here is the results, just quickly as well. Zach O'Sullivan victorious with Dennis Hager second, Richard Verschoor in third. Zane Maloney's fourth with Jack Crawford fifth. Andrea Kimi Antonelli comes home in sixth place. It's seventh for Ollie Behrman. Eighth across the board as well. That goes to Franco Colapinto. Ninth for Isaac Hadjar and 10th for Gabriel Bortoleto. Last points, though, goes to Jack Crawford in 5th with the race not going to full. Further down, it's Emil Cordial in 11th, Victor Martins in 12th, Kushmaini's 13th, Enzo Fittipaldi 14th, Rito Miatas 15th, Taylor Barnard 16th, Juan Manuel Correa 17th, Paulo on 18th, Joshua Dursk at 19th, and Roman Stanak comes home in 20th position as well. Race will not be resumed. Red flag is out as well. 21st, Rafael Villa Gomez, and Jose Maria Marti retired as well in 22nd place.
Okay, we're gathering underneath the podium after a long day for the championship. A little bit of overtime for Sebastian Philippe and Bruno Michel, who are discussing what they've seen out on the circuit, and the weary expression of Sebastian Philippe says a lot there. But he has managed to claim victory with O'Sullivan, and Martins was able to gain a lot of places. We've already heard from these three already, but let's hear some more now in the cool-down room.
Tired, guys? Very? Dead. Got race tomorrow. Do we get points? Do we even get points? I sure know. Yeah, I think we get half. Really? I thought it was 50%. Oh yeah? I don't know. We did 7 of 18. Yeah, 5 on the safety car. Maybe no. At least we get a trophy, right? The spray was quite bad. Dennis, you have so much downforce, mate. All the spray was coming out. Then we have a different kind of wing which says extra high downforce. Yeah. EHDF. Yeah. It's not too much to look at. The start is like slow motion in the wet. Yeah. But it was fine in the end. The only thing you don't want when you drop the clutch is full wheel spin. Yeah, or to stop. Or to stop. But it feels so unnatural just resting your foot on the throttle, like no throttle and then just hoping for the best. And here, I had to tap the brake as well. Yeah, I kept rolling backwards. Yeah. Me too. But I don't remember it on the old surface doing that. I think it was okay last year, because we had so many.
Well, the debrief continues, but in a moment we'll get a podium finish. Isaac Hadjar is still the championship leader. Paul Aaron and Gabriel Bortoleto not adding to their points tally. Zane Maloney with a couple extra thanks to where he finished in 4th. Had a look at one point for a place on the podium, but was clearly, as he was always going to be, shown the curve.
Yeah, really was. Maloney looking relatively feisty, with decent pace throughout that one, actually. Interesting to hear the three of them discuss, of course, their downforce level choices for that race, ever important, especially in wet conditions, as Richard Verschoor makes his way up onto another Formula 2 podium, one of the most experienced competitors now in the field, along with another one of the bit more experienced competitors. Dennis Hauger continues a storied Formula 2 career with another podium.
Yeah, they got off the line, they behaved themselves on the first lap, and then it was... out there, but it was worth it for Zach O'Sullivan, a two-time Formula 2 race winner now, and the trophy to prove it. Acknowledging his team, acknowledging the warm applause. And it'll be a louder crowd tomorrow when everyone's packed in. The first on-track action is Formula 3, and then we'll have Formula 2 with the feature race and 25 points available to the race winner.
Crowd will be pouring in tomorrow. The opportunity to race on Grand Prix Sunday, the big points given out, the big championship swings underway. But for now, glory for these drivers. Hauger very happy to be jumping back on the podium again, which I'm sure another podium could try to celebrate below the rostrum. And, it surely soon will be champagne time if they're not wet enough already.
It was a 10th podium for Richard Verschoor in his Formula 2 career. It was a really accomplished drive in the few laps that we had.
Champagne time, finally. Not sure it deserves a champagne time, really, but it was an interesting 8 laps while we had it. Closing thoughts then, and I'll send it down to Omi as well. What do we make of that one? Because, to be honest with you, I'm lost for words on it.
Well, I'm left pretty disappointed with that one. We could have probably got the green flags back out, got a few more laps, and then maybe a red flag as the conditions were going to get worse as well. But yeah, F2 unreliability, first of all, even causing the safety car, and then extending that safety car. Disappointing stuff on the sprint, but luckily we only have the rest of today, and then when we wake up, it will be time for some more action from Formula 3, Formula 2, which should hopefully be dry.
Hopefully so, but never predict the weather here in the Ardennes. My thanks to Omi as well for your company in this one. And thanks to all of you at home. Thank you very much for putting up with us throughout the delays and the eventual red flag and early finish here at Spa-Francorchamps as well. What a race for Zach O'Sullivan. He will pick up the points. The rain is getting heavier, but the sprint is done finally. Feature, let's hope we can go the distance tomorrow. Time to end the day here as the 5 lights go out one more time. We'll see you tomorrow when all the action resumes as we go for Grand Prix Sunday here at Spa. Bye-bye.